like this. I go, oh my goodness. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great, marvelous, beautiful day. I found out that if you do this, that's supposed to be Illuminati. So I don't know what that means. Haha, what's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great, marvelous, beautiful, wonderful day. It's that time of the evening. I'm learning all kinds of things like this right here. What's up, people? How you doing? Look at that. Like, I switched cameras. What's this? Well, I can even like switch this. Look, what? Straight switching. Bro, I'm getting technical mumbo jumbo. All right, so it's that time of the evening. I ran across this video that says mansion no one wants to buy for any price. Well, I gotta say, any price? Like, well, wait, you go like this. Any price? Like, come on, guys. I'd buy a mansion for $1. I don't give a damn what's in it. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Is that cool? Come on, leave a comment and let me know what y'all think. All right, so let's dive in. Grab your blizzard, joint, your pipe, your bong, your Coke can, your aluminum foil. I don't know. I even rolled it in a Bible paper one day. They smoke pretty good. I cannot tell a lie. All right, here we go. It's the end of the day. We're chilling. Oh, wait. If I hit this button, no, hit that button. Oh, I'm getting this. This is going to be so good. Hit that button right there.
Everyone dreams of owning a mansion, but in reality, it's a dream most of us will never be able to afford. Or is it? If you know where to look, you'd be surprised with the incredible mansions you could get on the cheap, and even more surprised by why not even millionaires want to buy them. From domineering castles with creepy past to haunting homes suspiciously available for free, let's take a tour of some incredible mansions no one wants to buy for any price.
All right, question number one. Do you have to pay like taxes on a free mansion? Like, hold on, bro. I might be rethinking my whole deal here. All right, let's get it.
$0 with a catch. They say that nothing in this world comes free, and when something seems just too good to be true, it usually is. In May 2019, bargain hunters were astounded when a listing for an impressive seeming 4-bedroom home on Craigslist went viral for touting a $0 price tag. But there was a catch. The seemingly good-willed seller behind this insane offering was Barb Coughlin, the owner of the property in Jordan, Minnesota, who inherited it from her grandmother, Gail. No one lived in the house even when it was owned by Gail, and in 2002 the elderly woman made the bizarre decision to relocate the property from the middle of town to the side of the highway. Moving a house is a Herculean task and requires a lot of resources. Relocated properties are usually lifted from under the sills with a jacking system and a network of beams to keep the structure in one piece. Gail's reasons for moving the house were never revealed, but it remained abandoned on the side of the highway for 15 years, until the property fell into Barb's hands in 2017 following Gail's passing. The mini mansion's interior is completely empty, except for the remnants of decor from days gone by. Just one glance at those bright orange countertops and cork backsplash is enough to tell you that this place needs a significant overhaul when it comes to decoration. Having originally planned to renovate the mansion into a 2-story apartment complex, Barb hit a bump in the road when pitching her idea to Jordan's City Planning Committee. To turn 508 Broadway into an apartment building, Barb would need to provide ample parking for residents. The problem was that the land the property stood on was zoned for commercial use, meaning that if someone wanted to live in the house in its current location, they'd have to apply to change the land's zoning law, which is a long and expensive process. By April 2019, Barb had been given an ultimatum by the local government: move the house from the side of the highway or see it demolished. As a part of her family's history, Barb was determined to save 508 Broadway. But after finding out the costly nature of relocating the property, she decided to list the house for $0 in hopes someone else would take care of the moving part. As you can imagine, this sort of literal house move doesn't come cheaply, and upping and moving homes to new locations can cost as much as $200,000. In addition to the cost of the move, Barb estimated that renovating the home would cost around $150,000, totaling to an investment that could cost as much as $350,000. Hardly the $0 of the listing price. That being said, $350,000 is actually around $100,000 less than the median house price in the area, so it could still be a sound investment for anyone bold enough to undertake the work. While things were looking up for Barb in June 2019 when she was approached by a property developer, there's been no update on the future of the house since. Thankfully, it looks like this highway house is still standing in the very same spot and was still sporting a for sale sign in September 2021. So the only question is, are you up to the task?
No, what did you go like this one? That one. Are you buying that house? 350 grand, but you have to move it. So you have to have land to move it on. I don't know, guys. That's tricky. That's a tricky one. Okay, we're passing on that one.
And Starrett Mansion. They say that home is where the heart is, but sadly this next mansion has struggled to capture any buyer's heart for many years. Located in the historic town of Port Townsend, Washington, this 1899 beauty was a true labor of love for George Starrett, who built the house for his adored wife Anne. Dubbed the Anne Starrett Mansion, the 5,796 square foot property has 11 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms set over 2 stories. The crowning tribute to Anne is the 8-sided domed tower at the mansion's entrance that encases an ornate spiral staircase. On the domed ceiling is a solar calendar designed by renowned New York artist George Chapman, who used Anne Starrett's likeness to depict the 4 seasons and the 4 virtues: prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. George and Anne fully enjoyed their beautiful mansion and lived there all their married life, passing ownership of the property to their descendants who continued to live there until the 1980s. The Starrett family seat found new caretakers in Bob and Ethel Sokol, who bought the house in 1986 and turned it into a boutique hotel. After a successful stint as hoteliers, the Sokols put the Starrett Mansion on the market in 2009. But in the 13 years since then, the mansion has been relisted a surprising 7 times to no avail. While it might seem surprising that a mansion this beautiful would have no interested buyers, some theorize that what lies within the mansion isn't so pretty. Locals believe the Starrett house is haunted by its previous residents, including Anne and George, who have allegedly been sighted by staff and guests alike. But a loved-up ghost couple isn't the only thing new owners could be dealing with. Deemed to be the most interactive of the spirits at Starrett House, the ghost of the family nanny is reported to keep a close eye on house guests. The most popular stories are those of critical guests receiving a ghostly smack on the head after complaining about their stay at the house. Currently, the 11-bedroom property is listed for a price of $1.5 million, which is a bargain compared with this 5-bed, 4-bath mansion situated just an 8-minute walk away for $1.3 million. Beautiful as it looks, no one's too keen to shack up with Anne Starrett Mansion's past or ghostly present, however real those alleged ghosts may or may not be. But considering that 57% of people in the US believe in the existence of ghosts, it's no wonder that haunted houses sit on the market for so long. With that in mind, this seller in Clifton, Tennessee decided to quell superstitions when they listed this property in 2015 with a...
All right, hold on. We got to go back to that other property. In my mind, I'm thinking a haunted house Airbnb experience. You're either going to see the ghost or you ain't, right? So, might as well. $1.5 million.
Specially made, not haunted for sale sign. It's unknown why the owners deemed these measures necessary to sell this 5-bedroom lot, but for the low price of $99,950, that not haunted addition only serves to make me more suspicious. Nope, no ghosts here. Totally not haunted. Foreclosing fortress. While for most folks the idea of living in a castle exists only in the realms of imagination, the reality of this next property turned out to be nothing short of a real estate nightmare. Businessman Christopher Mark was the mind behind this one-of-a-kind property based on the fairy castles from his daughter's storybooks. Wow. Complete with a moat and towers rising 126 feet into the sky, this Gothic creation took a staggering 7 years to build between 2001 and 2008. Dubbed Chris Mark Castle, the property is nestled within 75 acres of sprawling forest, and the decor inside transports visitors back in time with its medieval design. There are 9 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, all fit for royalty.
9 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms. See that right there says 9 people living And you can even have your
as
own
well as
bathroom.
12 fireplaces and wooden floors and
What?
doors built with over 25 different types of luxurious hardwoods. So what's the catch? You'd think somewhere as magical as this would have plenty of billionaire buyers banging down the door. However, this wonderland has been sitting on the market since 2014, with an asking price of an out-of-this-world $60 million.
Well, no
While you
wonder.
might think that the only reason no buyers have chosen to start a chapter at Christmark Castle is that extortionate price tag, there's a lot more to it than that. Turns out the current owner's private life is far from a fairy tale. In 2008, it was reported that Christopher was using the mansion to conceal a suspicious quote-unquote modeling agency that reportedly listed women for hire at $125 from the castle. This sketchy venture followed with a messy public divorce from his wife, alongside the untimely death of a camel living on the exotic animal refuge on the property, and Christopher also reportedly put his new girlfriend Marina and the child they had together out on the street, refusing to have anything to do with them besides the basic monthly minimum in child support payments. Given that Chris's castle is associated with all of this morally questionable behavior, it casts a gothic darkness over what may have been a charming home, turning into something altogether quite sinister and unnerving. The room in the basement dedicated to pole dancing and, other activities involving binding in cages doesn't exactly help the pure and innocent image either. While there may be no ghosts at Christmark Castle, it's safe to assume that there are plenty of dark secrets.
Hold on. How do you do that again? This one? Would that stop you from buying it? Because that dude was a freak? I don't know if it'd stop me from buying it. But $60 million would probably stop me from buying it. Let's not tell a lie. That's cool how I could go like this to this. I don't know. I'm learning. I can go like this. Oh, I'll be like, what? Then go like this, be like, what? What? It'd be like this, and it'd be like that. It'd be like this, it'd be like that again. And boom. Look at that. That's
home.
crazy cool. I'm learning.
Everyone loves a good home makeover, and some say you can't put a price on the result of hard work. But in 2020, this 3-bed, 2-bath Victorian-era property was listed for just $1,000. The catch is that this authentic property is completely abandoned, and despite its charming exterior, the insides are in complete disarray. Located in Syracuse, New York, the 2,056 square foot house was built in 1890 and features rounded rooms with ornate plastered ceilings that harken back to the 19th century world in which they were constructed. There's a formal dining room and living parlor that could be fit for a very la-di-da tea party, given a bit of TLC. Well, a lot of TLC. Whoever does end up parting with that $1,000 will have a lot of crumbling foundations on their hands that will need to undergo a complete reconstruction. That amount of labor won't come cheap, and the property's listing claims that it will require around $200,000 in renovations to restore it to its former glory. Considering the average house in Syracuse is worth around $153,000, this 1K fixer-upper isn't quite the bargain it might seem. While fixer-uppers like this are always going to be burying some hidden costs, building a brand doesn't have to cost the earth. If you fancy yourself a budding content creator, or you run your own business, you can get an instant boost with today's sponsor, Render Forest. The services offered by Render Forest make it super easy to create broadcast quality content, websites, logos, animations, and more. On their the whole point of buying a mansion is to show off, and the larger you can go, the better. But this next mansion just goes to show that you can have too much of a good thing. This over-the-top 14-floor residence in Hampshire, England, was constructed in the 1880s by wealthy landowner Andrew Turton Peterson. Known as a bit of an eccentric, Andrew developed a keen interest for spiritualism and communicating with people from beyond the grave. One spirit Andrew claimed to have contacted was the renowned 17th century English architect Sir Christopher Wren, who apparently instructed him to build a large concrete tower, which was pretty odd considering that Wren never used concrete in his designs. But who says people's taste can't change, right? And so Andrew did as he was told. Known as a folly, large towers like this were pretty popular in the 18th and 19th centuries and were built solely for decoration to be admired by rich homeowners nearby. While it looked pretty, or at least interesting, from the outside, the concrete monolith was home to little more than stairs and pigeons until 1973, when the tower came under new ownership. The Grade 2 listed building was bought by Paul Atkins for just $5,000, who renovated part of the property into a tall, skinny mansion for a cool $1 million investment. Paul first turned the tower into a boutique hotel with en-suite bedrooms, each taking up an entire floor in the twig-like tower, before offering the property up for sale more than 4 decades later. First listed in 2016, the property is conservatively described as a 4-bed detached house, despite standing at 220 feet and housing 320 steps. If the thought of climbing all those stairs every day wasn't enough to put buyers off, then paying the $2.5 million asking price is sure to sour the deal even further. Not only that, but the new owner had best be shock resistant, considering the folly has been struck by lightning at least 10 times in its history. With more than 5 years on the market under its belt, let's hope that this historic structure finds a new owner before Mother Nature smites it down to rubble.
Okay, hold on. Like, that reminds me of that girl, that fairy tale with the long blonde hair. What was it? Excuse me, hold on. All right, what was that called? What was that? Rumpelstiltskin? No. Goldilocks. I don't remember what her name was. That lady that... Anyway, would you buy... I'm not... First of all, I don't even like to walk up one flight of stairs, let alone 14 stories? Like, come on, guy. What are you doing? Only 4 rooms? There would have to be way more rooms than that. But I'd Airbnb the crap out of that, too. I'm telling you, we're going to Airbnb all of this stuff, man.
Carleton Island Villa.
Because it would, hey, all right, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to live up 14 stories with one little room, you only got to walk up there, you know what I'm saying, a couple times.
Of owning a mansion on a near private island is a dream harbored by many. But for this next property, things are far from idyllic today. In the late 1800s, businessman William Osmond Wyckoff was amassing a great fortune from selling the then newly invented typewriter. After all that hard work, William needed a break. And in 1894, he set about commissioning a dream vacation home on the picturesque Carleton Island in upstate New York. The property was completed in 1895, and despite being a vacation home, William's 15,000 square foot fortress was completed with a whopping 50 rooms inside. With all that space, as well as an abundance of waterfront views, things were looking bright for the Wyckoff clan's next summer vacation. But things didn't end up so sunny for William, as he eerily died in his sleep during his very first night on Carleton Island. The villa was inherited by one of William's sons, who quickly sold the property following the tanking of the Wyckoff family fortune during the Great Depression in the 1920s. The property was sold to energy company General Electric, who had intended on using the villa to host employee retreats. But sadly, these plans were soon forgotten as World War II unfurled. Decades flew by, and the Carleton Island Villa remained, exposed to the unforgiving elements as well as numerous lootings over the years. Eventually, the villa came under new ownership by a couple living in a cottage nearby the estate, who put the mansion on the market in 2012. Despite its colossal size, Wyckoff's mansion was priced at just $495,000,
that's
a mere
all.
drop in the ocean compared with what you'd think it must be worth. In fact, in the general surrounding area, $480,000 can only buy a quaint 4-bedroom property. So it might seem odd that no one wants to snap up the 11-bedroom Carleton Villa. However, these days, Carleton Island Villa is a ghostly shell of its former self. And some even suspect that the abandoned ruins are haunted by William Wyckoff himself. Regardless of Willie's ghost, the property is regarded as a money pit and is in dangerous disrepair, with all 50 rooms crumbling to pieces. The villa's desolate location also poses a problem to prospective house flippers, as Carleton Island is only accessible by boat. Not only that, but there's no water or electricity connected to the home, meaning that it would require a lot more than a fresh lick of paint to restore. In fact, the renovations required to get the house in ship-shape condition are estimated to cost between $10 and $12 million. The new owners would literally have to start from the ground up, as the stone foundations of the property have reached a point of irreversible deterioration and would need to be entirely overhauled. Over 90 years have passed since anyone has lived in the mansion, and the Carleton Island Villa vacation home is still waiting for someone to pull it out of the darkness and into the sun once again.
Alright.
Minjong House.
That ain't gonna work.
Located
right
in
there.
the countryside just outside of the city of Chiai.
Hold on, guys. Slow down, man. Why are you going so fast? Look, It needs, every window has to be replaced. All the shingles need to be replaced. They're asbestos, so that's gonna cause a deal. All that. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on here, bro. The doors, all that framework. Like, this is really a tear down rebuild. Like, you gotta have some serious.
An island villa vacation home is still waiting for someone to pull it
Like,
out
look
of the
at that.
darkness and into the.
Look at that. No doors, no windows. The rails, they look solid. I mean, the house looks solid, but
sun
looks can
once
be
again.
deceiving.
Minjong House. Located in the countryside just outside of the city of Chiai, Minjong Ghost House is one of the most infamously haunted locations in all of Taiwan. Built in 1929, this house was once full of life until, at some point in the 1950s, the owners, the Liu family, mysteriously upped and left their home behind. The reasons behind the Liu family's swift departure are shrouded in shadows, but locals believe that a haunting is to blame. In Taiwanese culture, upwards of 87% of people reportedly believe in ghosts, and there are many superstitions dictated by a fear of the spirit world. These include beliefs that whistling can attract evil spirits, and that taking the last bus home could result in being abducted by a phantom driver. In the case of the Minjong house, the leading theory is that the Lius were haunted by the ghost of a maid they'd mistreated, whose spirit came back to torment them on a nightly basis. The rumors of the hauntings left the home without an owner, and it's been sat abandoned ever since. These days, the structure is down to its bare bones and is more of a ruin as opposed to the luxurious house it once was. And it's not just the inside that's transformed. The outside of the red brick structure has been completely overtaken by nature, engulfed by twisting vines and branches. Considering its wrecked appearance, no one in their right mind is looking to part with the $474,901 needed to purchase the ruin, let alone shelling out potentially hundreds of thousands more that would be needed to restore it. It's safe to say this mansion's haunted reputation, as well as its problematic price tag, will likely follow it to the grave.
Oh, here we go. I stopped it good. Would you buy that house? Like, that one seemed pretty solid. If you put a roof on it and just start buying a piece of wood every time you got a paycheck, you could probably build it up pretty quick. All you need is love, love. All right, here we go.
Haunted house on the house. A house with a haunted history is bound to be a tough sell for any realtor, but one agent out there had a nifty trick up their sleeve. In March 2020, residents of Youngsville, Louisiana got quite the surprise when realtor Sylvia McLean posted this on Facebook, offering an entire house for free. Sylvia disclosed that whoever took it on would be expected to move and restore the 1920 structure, which stood on some land that had been purchased by her neighborhood development firm. The final bill for this house move was set to be in excess of $80,000, but it wasn't the hidden costs that were putting people off. In fact, the comments were flooded with interested buyers. But what Sylvia failed to mention were the reports of an otherworldly presence that also allegedly resides in the home. Former resident Dawn DeClout claims that it's occupied by a restless spirit often witnessed jangling pots and pans, among other creepy unexplained phenomena. While this might not seem like a huge deal to everyone, once interested buyers found out about the supposed haunting, most of them promptly withdrew their offers to take the house. Despite the home's ghostly resident, one brave soul did agree to take the mostly free home and relocated the house around 20 miles away. But who knows if the ghost came along for the ride too. If it did, it probably won't be long before this moving property is back on the market again. While nothing in the world of real estate truly comes free, you can get your mitts on plenty of amazing free content here at Be Amazed. Why not put an offer in on those like and subscribe buttons? You can even seal the deal by ringing that bell icon so you're always in the loop when I've got new content on the market. All signed, sealed, and delivered. Then let's get back to the video. SK
Go subscribe to Be Amazed.
Pierce Mansion. When it comes to mansions, they say that bigger is better. And while this next property took 100 men 18 months to build, its failure to launch comes down to just one small detail. The elaborate 10-bedroom, 7,000 square foot Gothic mansion was completed in 1875 after being commissioned by businessman Sylvester Pierce. Sylvester worked in the furniture business, so it's no surprise that the insides are about as lavish as you can imagine, if not a little eerie, including a steep grand staircase and lavish furnishings. After Sylvester's death in 1888, the mansion was left to his 3 sons, who bickered over the ownership of the mansion for years. Eventually, the mansion was turned into a boarding house in an attempt to revitalize the dwindling Pierce family fortune, but this decision saw the mansion play host to some very unsavory activities. Illegal gambling, black market trading, frequent visits from women of the night, and even some homicides are said to have taken place at the house. By 1965, the Pierce fortune had all but disappeared, and ownership of the mansion was transferred outside of the family. Since then, the house has had quite a few residents over the years, some of which have reported some very strange goings-on. In 2009, Edwin Gonzalez moved into the property with his partner Lillian Otero, but the pair were driven out of the home by 2011 due to alleged paranormal experiences. While Edwin and Lillian lived there, neighbors reported seeing a little boy in the windows, despite the couple being childless, as well as a dark-haired woman who Lillian claims tried to possess her. While all these little anecdotes are creepy to say the least, the couple imparted their experience via a book deal, which could make the claim seem a lot more or a lot less believable, depending on your perspective. Stories like that of Edwin and Lillian are the reason why locals have dubbed the S.K. Pierce mansion the haunted mansion of the neighborhood. And because of this, not a soul wanted to live there. Guests of the mansion have reported an alarming amount of paranormal activity, from chanting voices, apparitions, and moving furniture. The property sat on the market for 9 years before the seller finally accepted that no one was ever going to buy this accursed location to live in. Instead, they changed tactics and marketed the home as a haunted attraction. In 2015, Edwin and Lillian sold Sylvester's old home to Rob and Allison Conti, the owners of haunted attraction company Dark Carnival, for a fraction of the mansion's $1.3 million valuation, at just $315,000. Currently, guests can only stay in the property after signing a detailed waiver that prevents them from suing Robert over any paranormal activity they may experience. How welcoming.
That's what I said. Put it on Airbnb. Wait, hold on. You gotta go right here. Put it on Airbnb. If you put it on Airbnb, then what? You're good to go, my guy.
Greenough Loma. Homes rendered unsellable by their creepiness are one thing, but there are some houses out there with price tags that are just too expensive for buyers to even consider. Dubbed Greenough Loma, this enormous log cabin sits on the shores of Lake Superior in Marquette, Michigan. Touting a private marina and 5,000 acres of woodland, the 26,000 square foot cabin was listed for a splintering $40 million in 2015, making it the most expensive house in the state. While you may think that...
Bro, that's a log cabin. Like, the upkeep on
that's
that...
extortionate. The home was constructed in 1923 by financier Louis G. Kaufman for $5 million, which is the equivalent of around $82 million today. However, not even billionaires thought it was a steal at its listing price, and the luxurious log cabin was chopped down to $20 million in 2017. Since then, it's still not managed to attract any interest, and the price isn't the only thing that has buyers lost in the woods. Despite having been designed by a staggering 22 architects, the estate has some pretty dated, garish decor and a whole load of insanely creepy taxidermy. Honestly, you'd have to pay me $20 million to live in this pet cemetery. Although, not that I'd say no at that price. I could ship over some of those other haunted homes we've seen with the Prophet to form a cozy, creepy commune. Wonderfully nightmarish for the inner goth in all of us. Would you buy any of the mansions we've seen today? Are there any houses no one wants to buy in your neighborhood? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.
Alright, well there you go. Okay, check this out one more time. What? I like it. You can do it. Which one of those houses would you buy? Which one of those houses would you buy? Would you buy any one of those houses? That's a good question. Alright, guys. Ooh, there's another button. So check this out. I can hit this button and be like, yo, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Reactions Matter by David W. Searcy, Jr. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share the video. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the content.